What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bella. It's so nice to see you guys. I haven't uploaded in what feels like forever. So in today's video I'm going to be recreating my mom's senior portrait from the 90s, and here it is. And I'm actually going to do it using a full face of e.l.f. They were actually nice enough to sponsor today's video, so I want to say thank you to them. And they sent over a whole bunch of products for me to use, so I'm going to do my entire face with just e.l.f. products, which is great because e.l.f. products are super affordable. And you know, sometimes we just don't have enough money to be buying all this high-end makeup, and e.l.f. always comes in clutch. So obviously I try to recreate my mom's look. I'm wearing gold hoops like she was. I'm wearing a little gold necklace like she was, and then the black v-neck with the curly hair. She used to have a perm, so I can't recreate that. I would never get a perm on my hair, so I just decided to curl my hair instead. But she has on a really pretty natural makeup look, and she just has on a red lip, which I think is super cute because I mean, she didn't have on that much makeup. It wasn't really a thing to be wearing that much makeup back in the day. So I'm gonna put my own spin on this. I'm still gonna do the same look, but it's gonna be more 2020 appropriate, more my style. All right, so the first product I'm gonna be using is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I love this primer with my whole entire heart. I use this primer pretty much anytime I don't want to use a high-end primer. Next, I'm going to be filling in my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the Instant Brow Lift pencil in the shade Taupe. Let me zoom you guys in really quick. I'm also going to just pin my hair back. So I've been filling my eyebrows in a little bit lighter lately. The shade looks a little bit light for my hair color, but they didn't really have any other shades in stock. I think this will work, and it might help create the more natural brow look that I've been going for, especially since my mom doesn't really have a whole lot of brow makeup on. I don't even think she did her brows at all. Like, they weren't plucked in high school. I'm gonna just keep my brows as simple as possible. Alright, so now that I have my eyebrows filled in, I'm going to go ahead and conceal them. I'm also mostly going to be using these brushes right here, so I'm going to go ahead and reach for the little e.l.f. concealer brush. And I'm going to conceal them with the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This one is in the shade Light Sand. I'm just going to take a little bit on the concealer brush and conceal my brows the way I normally would. So now that my brows are concealed, I'm going to move on to highlighting. And since my mom doesn't have on like a super bright highlighter the way that we would wear now in 2020, I'm going to do highlighting before my foundation. And I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Jelly Highlighter. This one is in the shade Bubbly. And this is a really interesting product because it's like liquidy but also jelly at the same time. So it's kind of like a liquid highlighter. I don't want to spill it. Here's what that looks like. It's literally shaking in there. But I'm just going to take a little bit of this onto my finger and tap it onto my cheekbone, and then I'm gonna take my sponge, which this is also an e.l.f. sponge, and just pat over that and give a little bit of a glow. I want to make sure this is really blended out too, because liquid highlighters can get caked up if you don't blend them out right. So this is already giving me a really pretty glow, and I'm gonna use a satin finish foundation too, that way it looks more like skin, and I'm really excited. All right, so I'm just blending this out with my finger and then going over it with my sponge and then my finger, and then I'm also gonna put some on my nose. Now that I've done the highlighting, can finally move on to applying my base, and I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Finish Foundation, and this one's in the shade Buff. I've used this foundation once before, and for a satin finish foundation I think it's really nice because I'm very picky about my foundations. This one didn't get super greasy even though it was like really dewy. I don't know how to explain it. It looks really wet and skin-like, and once you know you set it and stuff, it looks really pretty. So I'm just gonna put this everywhere and then blend that out with my e.l.f. sponge. And I would say this is like a very light to medium coverage foundation, so if you guys are into more high coverage stuff, I wouldn't recommend this, but overall it's really pretty, and you can even add a second layer to add more coverage to it, which is what I did the last time I wore it, and I didn't get cakey or anything. I'm just gonna keep blending this out, and as you can see I have some breakouts on my cheek. It's covering those pretty decently. I think I'm still gonna go back and spot conceal them, but so far so good. I think I could probably use a shade darker than this one, but shade matching is a little bit difficult, especially when it comes to ordering online, and this, you know, just I don't know. I think this is still a good match, just a tad bit light. It may be my lighting, I'm not sure. I'm gonna spot conceal with the Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand, I think it was, and I'm just gonna blend that out because I don't want to see my pimples through my foundation. I'm just gonna conceal anywhere else I have blemishes, because like I said, I still want more of a natural base. I'm not even really sure if my mom wore foundation in this picture. She probably didn't, but you know, I can't really skip that step. So I'm actually liking how it looks with just the one layer. I might just keep it like this and move on to my concealer. So again, I'm going to be using the camo concealer, and I'm just going to put this everywhere I normally would put my concealer. Since it dries a little bit quicker, I like to work in sections, so I won't put on all of the concealer at once and let it sit, just so that it doesn't dry up and stick in one spot, because that tends to happen with matte concealers. Now to set my face, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. matte setting powder, and this one's in the shade Light. This is a loose setting powder, and I haven't really used this enough to form an opinion on it, but it looks pretty when you apply it. So I'm gonna just use this today, and I'm gonna bake just like normal, because baking just always makes my makeup look 10 times better. And I'm just patting this around with the sponge, and then I'm gonna take a big powder brush and brush off the excess, kind of just pat whatever is left in. So now I'm gonna be moving on to bronzer, and I'm gonna be using the primer infused bronzer. This one is in the shade Forever Sun-Kissed. This is like one of the only really warm drugstore bronzers that I've come across, so I'm excited to use this. I'm gonna go really light with this, because again, not much face makeup in the photo. And then with the same powder that I set with, I'm gonna bake underneath that bronzer while I do my nose contour. I'm gonna use the same bronzer for my nose contour as well. I'm gonna use this little dome brush, and this is also from e.l.f. This is a blending eye brush, and I'm just gonna contour my nose with this the way I normally would. And I'm also gonna bake my nose contour with that same powder and that same sponge that I've been using, and just carve it out. All right, so while that's this, I'm gonna move on to my eyeshadow, and I'm gonna be using this Matte for Matte Summer Breeze palette, and I'm gonna reach into this shade right here for my crease. I'm gonna take this all over my crease as a transition shade and make sure it's blended up pretty high. I don't think my mom has really that much eyeshadow on in this picture. It just looks like she has some shadow in her crease, and like she didn't really blend it out that well. So I'm just gonna bring this up and do the same thing on this side, and I'm using the same brush that I used to apply my nose contour. And so for the lid, I'm gonna be using this cream shade right here, and I'm gonna apply this onto my lid. Again, there wasn't really that much of like a glam going on. I feel like this was the glam, to put just a brown in your crease and like a shimmery kind of champagne shade on your lid. But again, since I don't see sparkle on my mom's eyes, I'm using matte shadows. I'm gonna make like a little makeshift liner, because my mom looks like she has a little bit of a liner on, and I'm just gonna take this eyeliner brush, also from e.l.f., and mix these two shadows right here. It's a brown and a black, and I'm just gonna stamp this onto my lash line. So now that I have that eyeliner finished, I'm going to brush off on my bake. I'm also going to be taking this e.l.f. contour kit, and I'm going to be using this shade right here to just help further set my T-zone and kind of bring some more brightness to my under eye area. And now I'm going to be picking up the powder blush kit, and I'm going to be using the dark shade of the palette. I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply my bronzer, which is the e.l.f. bronzing brush, and I'm going to go ahead and mix these two shades right here. I'm going to go ahead and just mix the two and focus them more on the apples of my cheeks. I'm just going to blend it in a little bit with my powder brush and tone it down a tad bit. I'm going to quickly apply some lashes off camera, and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back and the lashes are on. These are in the style Dipped by Leo Lash, and yeah, these are super cute. I'm gonna set my face now, and I'm gonna be using the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. Here's what that looks like, and it just, I don't know, smells heavenly. It smells like you just cut open a coconut and you're sniffing the milk. That's what this smells like. It smells really good. And go ahead and wait for that to dry. Last step is gonna be lipstick. I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Liquid Matte Lipstick, and this one's in the shade Red Vixen. This one's really, really pretty. I used this formula a few days ago, I think, and it's amazing. It actually applies so well, so easy, and it doesn't get crusty. So I really like this for a drugstore liquid lipstick, because I feel like it's really hard to find good ones. So I'm not gonna worry too much about taking off the foundation from my lips, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this. Now with reds especially, I look so funny like this, but with reds especially, I like to overline my lips, so if you guys see that, mind your business. All right, and that's the liquid lipstick. I really like how these apply. They're super easy to apply and they're really comfortable. They go on like creams and dry down. These, in my experience, haven't cracked on me. Well, this color in particular has not cracked on me. I think I'm gonna overline my Cupid's bow a little bit more because I didn't do it enough. I really didn't even overline it that much, so all right, so that's what that looks like with a little bit more of an overline going on. In the photo, the lipstick was a little bit glossy, so I'm gonna take this lip lacquer in the shade Bubbles and just put it kind of in the center of my lips. And there we go. Let's take down the hair. Throw this around a little bit. Oh, girl. All right, let me zoom you guys back out. All right, guys, here's the final look. I really like how it came out. This is, as far as the face makeup goes, out of my comfort zone. I definitely like to wear a lot more makeup than this, but I really like how it came out. So if you guys are interested in any of the products that I used in today's video, my description box will have every single link that you guys need to check out all of those products, and I'll list them in the order that I use them. That way they're easy to find. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial slash look, I guess you could say. It was really fun for me to recreate because I really love this picture of my mom. It's iconic for me, and it's crazy because I'm the same age that she was when she took this picture now. So I actually have my senior portraits coming up in a few weeks, so that's really exciting stuff. Let me know what you guys think down below how I did. Do I look like my mom? Do I not look like my mom? With that said, I just want to say thank you guys again for watching today's video. Also, just one last thing before I go, I really want you guys to check out some of the petitions that I have linked in the description box. There's also some articles that I have linked with some of the issues that correspond together. So if you guys want to read about something before signing a petition for it, then go ahead, please do so. I would really appreciate it. Now I've said all that I need to say. I love you guys so freaking much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.